All right, guys, I got 4% on my phone right now. I'm kind of out just getting some food and whatnot. Probably should have charged my phone, but I'm looking for a possible short. We have a range right now, and it's kind of closing in. Usually it manipulates to one side, and then usually manipulates to one side. I'm gonna kind of want to see it like I want it to sweep this high, not this one, because if it sweeps that one, then I'm more inclined to buyers. It just shows me that maybe buyers are a little bit stronger than I thought. But I would like to see some manipulation like this, manipulate that high, get people into buys, and then it starts to run down. That would be a really nice trade. I'm kind of on my phone. I'm not on my computer, but, it is what it is. I'm aiming for this 0.5 or this 0.8 on this reaccumulation down here on the minutes chart. On the high time frame, we just had a really big bearish day yesterday because of employment data. Employment data came out double than expected, which caused people to get scared that the feds aren't going to cut rates, because if people are more employed, double than expected, then they're going to spend more money and the economy might have more inflation. Therefore, they're not going to cut rates to make borrowing easier. They're probably going to hold off if it affects inflation data. We had that really big bearish day, like 5% down or something on NQ and ES. So that's another reason why I'm kind of also I was targeting longs, because I figured maybe we want to fill some of these selling pressure gaps, the fair value gaps as they call it. So, there's a lot of gaps from the selling pressure, a lot of strength, and it might want to get tested and, see how strong the sellers are still. And so this 4-hour gap over here, there's these big candles basically. So this area is about the area that I'm talking about. You could say this, but I'm gonna just say this area. Fair value gap, we'll say up here, a little bit more precise, so we'll stick with that. So that would be the one thing that causes us to go long. I guess we did just hit this 0.8 and this 0.5 over here. The 0.8 got hit and right here, and we started to reject. So we might have a little bit bigger of a pullback than we might expect, and it might want to test this 4-hour gap up here. So if I zoom down to 1 hour, we should be almost 30 minutes in. It looks like we're kind of reversing up for upside, but there's still 40 minutes left in it, so we'll see. This could be just the top wick of the hour candle or the 2-hour candle. I think the 2-hour candle just opened as well 20 minutes ago. Yeah, so here's one thing that could happen. It could run all the way up, hit that, or we can see this candle come down and mitigate immediately to this 0.5, 0.8 down here. So that's my trade idea. I'm just kind of waiting to see how it reacts at this level. I'm not really, I don't want my heart pumping really. I'm not really too invested in catching anything. I just want to wait for the opportunity to come to me and the setup to come to me, and then I'll take that trade. And this is how you guys should be. It's been a while since I've felt any emotion while trading, really. And you'll feel the same way, as long as you're not risking too heavy on your account than what you can afford. And you're able to survive 10 losing trades in a row, even 20 even better, depending on how slow or how fast you're trying to go. But just remember, if you're trying to go really fast, you are opening yourself up to losing a lot more. Obviously, you're going to risk a lot more, and some of you shouldn't be doing that because you guys can't afford it. So don't be too hasty to doing that. So here we are, doing exactly what I was waiting for it to do. You can try to take that trade up, to this high. That's a valid trade, I guess, but I'm not too much of a fan of that, because when it does reject, If it will reject and come down, it will be a very strong candle. And there's a thing called slippage, where if you're in a trade and you have a stop loss, sometimes the movement and the volume is so heavy that your stop loss gets triggered late, or otherwise. So I try to take that into account when I trade. There's some movements like this that are pretty obvious and they're intuitive, but they're not real setups for me. And when you guys get more experienced, you're gonna have a lot of moments of intuition, but they're not real setups. And you're gonna have to learn, as a professional trader who's actually going to make money and keep their money and not going to just give it back one day, you're gonna have to learn to distinguish a real setup to intuition, to where the price is going. So yeah, I hope I explained that well. There's obviously going to be a lot more examples in the future, but in this case, I figured that I want it to hit this high over here and sweep it. I don't want it to sweep that high, obviously, like I said before, but the reason why I want that is because I want a manipulation. I want more liquidity for us to come down into the 0.5 and 0.8 down here. But it might not happen, and if I get into this trade, like if I got into this trade over here with this little micro, okay, so it did exactly what I thought it would do without it even sweeping the high. And you see how this is what I was talking about, right? I'm sorry it cut out. I didn't really mean for it to cut out. My fiance was calling me and it cut my recording out. A little annoying, but that's what happens. But anyways, yeah, so you can see it didn't even sweep that high, even though I wanted it to. But now it's starting to reject really hard. This is the manipulation that I was waiting for. And now we might be making our way down to the downside. But what I really want to wait for is the break of this low. I could be a little bit hasty right now, and it's not, you're not wrong to take a sell here because it's pretty obvious, but I like to wait and confirm that sellers really do have enough pressure to be bringing it down. Because otherwise, it might just look like my setup is actually happening, but I don't actually know for sure until I have actual tangible proof and results of what sellers have done. And you guys should be, bringing this into your own trading. Where are you trying to take it? Are you trying to sell or buy? If you're trying to be a buyer, what have buyers actually done? What is resulted in the charts, and what levels have been actually broken through from buyers, from buyer strength or seller strength, right? So yeah, we're gonna break this low right here. Again, just a little bit of an internal liquidity. I don't really have a video about internal liquidity, but you get the idea. This level is, it's a level to be respected from sellers, because if buyers are stepping in like they're trying to do right now, then you shouldn't be able to break this low. Well, we'll see, and it's possible that we just continue going up. Anything is possible. We could just be LPSing last point of resistance into all-time highs, or testing that gap above, like I was talking about right there, up there. So yeah, just waiting now. Like I said, it would have been okay to sell there. It's just I like to wait for the confirmations. I like to wait to see real tangible proof that sellers have the strength to do something, otherwise, why would I want to be a seller? So we're just gonna wait. It's trying to test the strength, this candle or this leg down. It's trying to test if it can break through and reaccumulate. We'll see if it can or not. People who are trading fair value gaps will look at this and they'll say, hey, fair value gap, we're gonna see if we respect these fair value gaps. And that's what do you call it? That's respectable. That's a good way to look at it. Not bad. So now we're waiting, and it's rejecting pretty hard. I would like to see for it to start to redistribute, micro redistro, and then I'll take that sell. I think that's a really good setup. And then, you know, once we have that movement down, I'll start to, I'll begin to break even. But again, I really want to see it break that low down here. And you know, people who are trading fair value gaps will also say, look at this gap that's being respected right here. If it gets inverse, that's a good inverse play. You know, basically same thing pretty much. We're just waiting for that. So here's the sell-off, looking really good. Probably wait for this candle to close. So that's a lot of rejection, but not too bad. It ain't that bad. So we got a new candle. It's dumping through. We'll see if it closes that way. It should. There's a lot of sellers here, but we'll see. You know, be patient. Be very, very patient. This is a Monday as well, you know, so I mean, this is something I probably don't really want to take, especially because we didn't take that high up here. But you know, we'll see. We'll try and we'll just wait and see. But yeah, we did you know, break a lot of lines, a lot of buyer gaps. So sellers do have some strength here. We'll just wait and see and try to confirm a little bit more, just a little bit more. And we're almost there. I really want to see it take that low first before I start taking sells. But yeah, like I said. Okay, so it's taking that low. Really good sell-off right there. 30 seconds in, let's see if the candle reverses. Let's just check our time frames real quick, see what it looks like. Looks pretty good. Hourly looks pretty good. Yeah, it looks like it wicked out. 4 hour, it looks all right. 4 hours still has an hour 30 left, so doesn't mean much. Not right now anyway. So yeah, it took that low. We're about to close out. What does MES look like? MES already took that low. We got the VWAP in the way, so that's going to be a big problem. That's a really big problem, actually. Not a great setup with the VWAP there. And we have that 0.8 right there. So MNQ. This could be the spring into an overall reaccumulation. That's just something like, so, okay, we took that low. I'm going to set up sells, but I'm going to manage this risk very, very tight. Because like I said, it looks like we don't have much room on ES. So, you know, I'll just wait for that to happen. Okay, so I'm going to wait for this candle to close. And then what I want is for a confirmation that sellers are still here. And if I see that, I'll take that short, try to get, you know, something. I don't know if I can get the full target 0.5, 0.8 down there, but we'll see. It's a lot of buyers stepping in. We'll see if they have enough strength. If this, you know, if buyers are stepping in right now, I'm probably just going to close the charts because I don't feel like taking the buy. I mean, it will reaccumulate. Like I said, this overall reaccumulation, you know, like that, then break that high, then it can come up to that 4 hour gap up there that we had marked out, remember? So that's one thing, but, you know, I don't really want to be on the charts all day. There's better setups out there. Especially if we don't have a manipulation, like what I would like to see is for it to run down once MES, because this is MNQ. Once MES hits the VWAP and the 0.8 or something of the sort, then it can run up, and this can act as our spring. So, you know, our micro distro, right? Distro to accumulation with the spring, then break the high. That's going to be a really A+ setup for longs. But yeah, so we got sellers stepping in now. We'll see if it wants to break this low, if we get lower into this micro redistro, or if it's going to be the start of accumulation to reaccum, and we're just going to run up. So we'll see. Lots of sellers though. That's a really good candle. We'll see if it closes. I'm getting ready to sell. I want to see the candle really get low though. It already has gotten low, but I don't want it to close up here. Yeah, I don't want it to close like that. I wanted it to close down there. That's a really big, like, you know, iffy kind of setup. I just really want to see confirmation, a lot of confirmation. So something like this is okay. I'm gonna wait for like the 30 seconds, see if it reverses, if it's still respecting, or if it's gonna redistro. That looks really, really good. 30 seconds in. We'll see how it goes. I hope my mic is on. If my mic isn't on, then it's gonna be terrible. But 10. Yeah, this looks good. Doesn't look bad at all. I'm ready to sell as soon as it closes. All right, we're taking a sell position, and I'm just gonna put my stop like up here. I'm gonna wait for it to sell off, and then I'll break even if it'll let me. So what I don't want to see is it to start reversing really hard. I would like to see it dump like that. Yeah, especially at the 30-second mark. That's a pretty good sign. I like that. 330. It's kind of going back and forth. I don't really like that. We'll see how it closes. All right. And I like to keep the limit order on just to see, you know, what the movement looks like. And if it starts reversing here, I'll get out because I don't like that. But I do want it to start to run down. So it's starting to reverse. We'll see if sellers are strong enough. It's about to hit the 30-second mark. Okay, sellers are stepping in. We'll see. It's still running. 25 seconds in. We'll see. We'll see. Depending on how this candle closes is if I'll get out or not. Not bad. That's not bad. That's really not bad at all, but we'll see. We'll see. It's not bad. It's really not a bad setup. So we'll take our stop loss and put it to that high. So I don't like this candle at all. I'm about to exit. Yeah. I really don't like that candle at all. We'll see though.